Hello, Group 1. Welcome to MH Tarot and to your reading. I'm so glad to have you here. Let me introduce you to the card you chose. It says Sap of the Moon Plant, and it also has the number 41. So 41 could be a significant year for this group, but 41 also turns into a 5, speaking of positive changes. And let me tell you a little bit about this card, because this is an alchemy deck, and the sap of the moon plant is connected to the alchemical process. And as you can see in the card, it's very dark, right? It symbolizes the nighttime, the moon phases, and that points us towards the subconscious part of us. This is a very, when the feminine becomes powerful in the way she is a mystic, like these are the types of energies we're talking about. But let me tell you how this card is connected to your good karma, because we're in the realms of the subconscious, and there are many things planted in our subconscious. And for you, this is speaking about a dream that you have, a dream that you would want to create and see it part of your physical reality. And there's a detail coming through for you, that this dream, it is connected to an old memory. I almost want to say like ancient memory. If it resonates true with you, this could be speaking about past lives. But this could also be speaking, of course, about memories from your childhood in this life. So when this dream starts showing up for you, it can be in many ways, and one of those ways could actually be through dreams when you sleep. But it will feel like you remembering who you are, you remembering why you're here, you remembering what your most natural gifts are and how to create with them and how to make things happen through them. It's like when you remember your clearest gifts, your biggest gifts, it will be like the way you operate in life and with yourself and how you operate to make things happen. It will be like a strong remembrance of, oh, I know how to do this. You know what? I thought I didn't know what the next step was, or how to make this a possibility, how to make this actually tangible. But oh my God, I know exactly how to do this. That is the aspect of ancient memory coming through. It is you knowing how to make your dream a reality. But you know how the subconscious works? That it is a process of how it gets up to the surface, and the process consists of both phases that are very calm and it moves slowly, and then it almost starts like a swirl, like a storm, and it just starts like bubbling and a lot of things happening until it gets to the surface. What I mean by this is that you are part of a process where things will be revealed to you. Your life could very much move in these types of phases, that you connect to the subconscious and to the depth of you very calmly, peacefully. And when you do that, things just start to react to that. And they start bubbling up and moving very fast, and it can get intense. Because when you tap into those parts of you, what you actually are dealing with, it is destiny. It is destiny connecting to you. So what more can we say about this dream? we can also connect this dream to destiny. You got the destroyer, the self, and the storm. Yeah, okay. Okay, so again, this is just screaming destiny. Listen, for this dream to become part of your life, there are definitely things that are going on right now in your life that will not be part of your life for this thing to be able to take over. Listen, this thing is coming through as I know that using these words are very like negative, but I think you can see it from the most positive way. But your dream has like this immense ego to it in the best way possible, meaning it wants a lot of space. It doesn't compromise, okay, when it comes to the space that it wants to inhabit in your life, meaning it will tell you to get rid of things before it enters. It's very much like a diva in the best way possible. It's coming through, requiring things. It's not coming through like, oh, you know what? For me to exist, I will tiptoe and I will stay close to the wall and I won't make a lot of fun. No, like, sorry. Maybe that means something. It wants to take over. It wants to make a fuss. It wants to be big and loud and just like flow over in your life. It has some requirements and it won't compromise about that, okay? Because here's the thing. Your dream is actually very loyal to who you are. It is very loyal to your destiny. And because of that, it will refuse to compromise. So listen, you could have been very much tapped into, through your intuition. You could have been tapped into this dream and just knowing that this is for you. And that could have led to you trying to create this ahead of time. But because your dream is like, no way, I'm not compromising. Listen, when I come, I want this and this and this and this and this and this and 100 things more to be in place because I am a diva. I love me. I want to see me all over the place. And right now, I don't see that. So I'm not coming. It's very much on this wishes, demands, and requirements. That is why ego and diva is coming through, but from a light perspective. But again, I want to stress the fact that it's not showing up like this just because of it, just for the sake of it. It is because it is very loyal to you and who you truly are. So when this dream shows up, it's like, I'm gonna match you in the perfect way. So just trust me when I say the timing is not now. Trust me when I say get rid of those things. It is because the timing of it all, the things that are supposed to be released and removed, they don't match you. This is a process. It can be an intense process, but it can also be a process where you're like, nothing is happening. And then a lot of things starts to happen. And then you're like, okay. I almost regret saying nothing is happening because now it's getting too intense. But it's a process. It has a life of its own. It's connected to your destiny. And it is asking of you to allow it to reveal itself as according to the process. This is not the space to use control or trying to grip things, get a hold of things in a confined way. This doesn't vibe well with that at all. Just as the subconscious is very much connected to water, Just allow it to have its own flow and go with it. You know, the way you would go with a river, that sometimes the river flows very, very flowy, very easy, and then it starts to flow in a adventurous, fast, almost getting your head under the water type of way. And no matter what phase, it is asking of you to flow with it, trust it. Don't put any value into if it's fast or slow. Listen, I'm gonna level with you. This wish doesn't give a damn if it's fast or slow. It has a life of its own. It is part of a process, and it's gonna honor that process. You got insight. Card number 37 opens the 34, sorry, because I was thinking about that, it turns into a 7. Opens the third eye to strengthen intuition. So this could be either a very spiritual group, or you could be a person that is very deep, very much knowing things ahead of time, like I can't think of the English word right now, but seeing things ahead of time, knowing things ahead of time. You're standing there, there's a corner here, you will know what's around the corner, even if you're standing far away from the corner. And in this aspect, it could be standing in your way. Because you know on a deep level, intuitive level, what is to come, that could be creating some sort of resistance of the timing and resistance of the dynamics of the process. That you could want to interfere in some things that don't need your interference, but they need your acceptance. But you're very cool, like you're very expansive in the way that you understand things. Expansive like this, but also expansive like in depths, going down, going up, going to the sides. 7s could also be following you around, trying to get your attention. And when 7s are showing up for you, that is actually talking to you about allowing the process to have its own shape, its own life. Also, Gemini and Cancer could be significant for this group. That could be speaking about the astrological influences that are having a huge effect on what is going on right now. And we have little luxuries with 28, creates luxurious surrounding and experiences. Okay. So what I'm getting with little luxurious is how you will know that part of the process, or the process that you've stepped into, the phase of the process that you've stepped into, that is the beginning phase of the manifestation of your dream from the flowy, watery, subconscious memory part of you into the physical, dense reality where things materialize. It is actually that you will start to experience life from a little bit more luxurious way. That could be you all of a sudden gaining more energy. So listen clearly, because this could be where some of you are right now. But this is the phase before things happen, before it materializes. So you could be sensing more energy, better sleep, getting results in your physical reality in an easier way. And one very specific thing has actually to do with your physical body, like building muscles easier and quicker, losing weight into a healthy level easier and quicker. Like your physical body will start to react to something entering your physical reality. That is why having more energy, sleeping better is coming through also. And you have 43, again, another 7, ascension. So when you start to experience life from these aspects that we've been talking about, how your physical reality will start to show up for you in an easier and more, just like a more type of way, that is when you can start to expect ascension, going up the ladder, being in the middle of the tree, reaching the light inside of it. But again, 7s are very important for this group as a sign to look out for, but also like especially Cancer is coming through. Let's see, no, one more. Okay. And we got talk to your angels instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. So this is talking about the control aspect of you when you want to make sure that things happen. And this isn't coming through to tell you like, oh, you don't trust enough, or you're not spiritual enough, and you have to no. Listen, the whys of why you want to control things or make things happen by pure will is because previous in your life it worked. Why? Because that's how that process looked like. That is what was required of you, and you did that. You understood that completely and perfectly, and you completed that process. But this is another type of process. This goes deep in an almost mystical way. There are things affecting and influencing this dream that is far outside of your control, because again, we're talking about destiny here. Okay? But it can also be beneficial for you that when you meet that part of you that wants to have a say in this, have a say in the timing of it all and things like that, and or the pace of it, to actually honor that part of you and thank it for everything it has created in your life, because that was an amazing part of your process. But it can also be beneficial for you to journal, to connect with others that actually honor that aspect of you too, that won't put any limitations on you by saying, oh, of course you shouldn't show control or be controlling, or like, who cares? Like, if that was once beneficial for you, of course that thing will show up again and be like, hi, like I actually worked out great for you last time, so why not try me? But there will be a dissonance. It won't work out. So you will need to be able to express that it doesn't work out well, to use the old ways. You need to express it by journaling or listening to music that is about that, like how to let go of all things that actually worked for you, but they're not working right now. Like, just get recognition in it. Be seen in it. we got the King of Wands, the Moon. Of course the Moon shows up for you. It has been with us since the beginning of your reading. Five of Swords, Four of Swords, and the Page of Swords. Underneath the deck we have the Queen of Cups. I'm just connecting, guys. Okay, so there's a very specific message here for you as part of your process. And that is to not abandon the old parts of you or the old ways of how you used to operate in life, how you used to make things happen. Even if you have some bad attachments to it, or bad memories, I would say, about the old ways, they all actually need to come along with you to be healed, to find peace. So if you would push them behind you, it won't help, it won't make them go away. They will actually need to be healed by experiencing this new type of process. So if that is, just as an example, if we're talking about control will be healed by you allowing it to be part of your new journey and to experience how it is to be flowy, to be in the river and just be part of it, no matter if it goes slow or fast. Go with it, flow in the same direction as the river. So this will also give you a tremendous release of the past. And you know, this doesn't surprise me, because usually when great things are about to happen, they carry such intelligent energies to them that when they come, they don't come alone. Like, they don't come to just show you the result of its becoming part of your life. No, usually they carry such intelligent and deep energies that they're like, let's see if I can influence my person in a bigger way, in an all-encompassing way. Is there healing that needs to be done here? Yeah, it is. I will make sure to help my person with this. And this is what we can see here also. Because the new beginning that you have, also here that it lines up underneath the numerology of 10. It doesn't want to be a complete new page in a complete new book. It wants to become a new chapter in the book that you already have, that when you turn the page to that chapter, that is when the reader will experience the immense release of everything that has happened in the previous chapters. There is power to you, power of creation, entrepreneurship, creating things that will be part of your life, benefiting you. There's a lot of like emperor energy going on here. Also, that is pointing you towards an ascension, a leveling up. But what is determining every part of your reading, it is this wish. It has a life of its own, legs of its own. It knows how to do this because it is loyal to you and your destiny. And that is your message, Group 1. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 2. Welcome to MH Tarot and to your reading. I'm so glad to have you here. Let me introduce you to your main card. This is card number, let's see, 58. And it says the golden rose. Okay, so this card comes from an alchemical deck, and the golden rose is part of the alchemical process in a very specific way. And let's see if I can walk you through this specific part of the alchemical process. So you have the alchemist in its laboratory, and the alchemist has metals, powders, liquids, all of its tools in front of it, and it knows how to use them. It is very skilled. And when the alchemist chooses to use one of these objects, it also knows that there is something else that is part of the process that it doesn't see. Something happens when the alchemist puts fire to a metal. That type of process is unseen. The alchemist just needs to trust that the unseen and unknown always shows up to be part of the process. So the alchemist does what is required of it to do, and that is to introduce physical objects to the unknown and to the unseen, and then to trust that that specific part of the process knows what to do with the physical reality, with objects. So this is speaking about the alchemist kneeling in front of the unknown, trusting it, working with it, and knowing that the unknown and unseen will always show up and be part of the process. So how is this connected to your good karma? This good karma that is guaranteed for you could have not be seen even a little bit in your life before it happens. That is one part. Another part is that this good karma is so tightly connected to you and the process that you've gone through, but in an unknown and unseen way. But it doesn't mean that it hasn't been there. You know, when you stand in the middle of the forest, and because of how many trees there are, you can barely see the forest. You know that saying? Or that's a saying where I live, at least. It's like this process is all over you, all over the place. Like all over the place means almost that it's chaotic, and it's not. It is all over you, and it is existing in all of your space in a way that it has become your baseline. And when things are our baseline, we barely notice it. You could have been in situations in your life that made no sense at all. Like no amount of intelligence or logic or even faith could help you understand what is going on. Those situations will make sense when this karma, the good karma, expresses itself. You could have had more than one of those situations happening where you're like, I don't understand this one bit. and I'm doing my best to understand it. Because things were happening in an all-encompassing way with your existence. Because of how big it was and all-encompassing it was, that is why it was hard to figure things out. But also because as long as there's a missing puzzle piece, you can't see the whole picture. And the missing puzzle piece in your life has been this good karma. It's like you've noticed that things happen in your life. Processes activates, but you barely understand the result of it. It's like things happen, but without any result almost. And you're like, what is this? Like, what is going on? Well, this is what is going on. It does exist. You are part of a process, but you're being almost asked to surrender to the unknown, trust in the unknown, but also to believe that this unknown aspect is always showing up and being part of your process. This unknown aspect could actually be another being, another entity, someone on the other side, working for you, working through this process for you. And it has always been pointing towards this good karma, because the golden rose also speaks about things being known, but also other things being hidden. It's like how the rose allows for some petals to open up, but you can still have the center of the rose all tied up, all closed up, not showing its pollen, not showing its core. Those things are outside of your control. And yet, there are other forces, entities, beings being very active in this. The mask. The shaman. The underworld. The good karma has to do with an activation of your identity. This could literally be that you are a true-born shaman, a teacher, a healer. This activation of your identity will naturally activate a role that you will have. That role that you will have could very much be life-changing when it comes to how your everyday life looks like. If you would look into your shadow, you can actually see that there are parts of this role and this identity that are playing out and have been for a long time playing out in a way that could be quite hard for you to deal with. It could even have put you in embarrassing moments. And I mean embarrassing, I'm sure the people who love you would never view it that way, but for you, because of the unknown aspects of it, you could have experienced it as embarrassing. You could have also met a lot of resistance from other people connected to this role and this identity, as long as it is part of your shadow. And here's a very, I don't know, I think it's a fun detail coming through, that for some of you, you could have lived through this shadow aspect of your role and identity and taken it quite literally to be what you're supposed to be. But for some of you in this group, I actually see you transforming this role and identity and use it in a shockingly different way than you ever thought you would, or in a space and place that you never thought that would fit. So let's say you're a healer and that has been part of your shadow, and you've been healing your family members, your relatives, your teachers, your fellow students, every person that has stepped into your space, and you could have been met with some resistance and hesitation from other people when they see that aspect of you. What I mean by you then expressing this aspect and role identity in a complete new way, it would be like you getting hired by a tech company, and you're like, what? And it's all destiny. It's all asking you, like, go there. And this is, of course, just an example. But then there at the tech company, the role you will get will actually be a healing role. That you will improve the way people work together, the way people listen to each other. You will improve the leaders and how they incorporate their qualities in their role. Like, that is what I'm talking about. Just an example, but just to show you how this identity and role will be activated. And when it does, prepare yourself to be quite amused and like shocked, yeah, maybe, in the direction it will take you. Because it's also like, even if these archetypes of the healer, the shaman, the teacher, the mentor can be activated in all of us, like all of us carry the archetype of the healer in on some level. But there's still, it doesn't have to do as much with the role and identity that will be activated within you that is unique. It is more the road that you will walk on and where it will take you that will be very unique. Like, most shamans don't work in tech companies. Like, again, just an example. But I think you get the underlying energies. That is what will be very unique. It's almost like only you can take on that space and exist in that space and not lose track of this identity that has been activated within you. You got the elements, number 14, and it says, the elements of fire, air, earth, and water create powerful protection. This is part of your identity. You're here to protect some very specific roles and identities and archetypes by making sure that they can actually be incorporated into our everyday life and into this modern world that exists, that can be almost killing those archetypes by misunderstanding them, and that is why they're not allowing them to exist in their space. You're here to protect those archetypes and those identities by allowing them to exist in these specific spaces that try to eliminate them. That is very interesting, isn't it? And you got fairy magic, yeah. Number 13, respectfully work with the fairies to achieve your goals. So you will be in these confined spaces, believing in fairies, working with fairies. Like, even if you don't do that, like, the energies of this will still be part of you and how you will work. This could also mean that you're a teacher of some way, and the way that you will teach other people will be in a way that will shock them and surprise them, because they will be like, oh, I thought spiritual teachers were like a bit obnoxious and very much like they put themselves on high pedestals and believe that they've achieved a level of consciousness that no one else has. Like, but you're so down to earth and you're so nice, and I can actually relate to you. Like, when I see you, I see me. That is also a very important aspect of this activation, is how relatable you will be for others. That even if you belong on a high level, that won't mean anything for you in that sense. That will simply be you evolving, and you will respect that, but it won't isolate you from others or put you on a pedestal where others can't come or be with you. There's also something very specific about 14 and 13 here. So this could be speaking about teenage years, where you could have very much experienced this identity and role as part of your shadow. But I'm also getting that if you start feeling almost stalked by number 14 or 13, but also the combination of 14 and 13, it could speak of the completion of the unknown phase, the unknown process, that type of process has been introduced to your physical reality, your physical body, your physical existence. And then the reaction will happen, the activation will happen. That could also be very much where you are right now, that activation is about to happen very soon, and it could be connected to full moons if that resonates. That is so specific that will only be true if it resonates with how you already work with full moon or moon phases. Another message that is coming through here that has to do with timing is actually 2025, February and March could be significant months for this group. We have 17 growing. Yeah. And we have talk to your angels. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. If you feel drawn to group 1, definitely go and check that out. But here's the thing, we have fairy magic here. And then we have fairies showing up to help the rose blossom and grow and to show itself. And the specific rose you chose is a rose that will have some petals showing and other petals will be closed and not ready to be shown. So here we see a process through your inner being, and also a very deep and or spiritual process depending on how you work with yourself. You can be a very deep person that goes very deep into things, but still don't use spirituality as part of your path, or any spiritual concepts as part of your path. And this could actually be a group that has a lot of those individuals here. But that process will take you towards an existence in this lifetime where you will be fully open, fully visible, but in a space that you didn't expect to be able to be fully visible and fully expressive. But the thing is that when you're there, you will be one of a kind and so unique that they will never let go of you. It might, I'm gonna level with you, okay? It might take them some time to appreciate you. In the beginning, they could even think that they've hired the wrong person. But as soon as they start to notice the effect of your existence in that space, they will shut up. They will take back everything they've ever said, and they will be like, you know what? We've come where we are because we tried new things, because we were smart. We were smart enough to know that for us to experience new things, we need to do things in a new way. And here we have that again, but in a new way that we never expected. So let's just go with that. They will also have a phase of growing and getting adjusted to you. But you know, you will love where you are because you will find it so amusing and fun, because you will be like, my God, can life take us in directions we never thought were possible? What is this? It is the Eight of Wands. Okay. Yeah. The Eight of Cups. Okay. The Four of Wands. The Six of Cups. And the Six of Pentacles. Underneath the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. You know, for you, you could actually be heading quite soon towards a very important decision to make that will either start this activation or actually put you in this space. So that is depending on where you are in your process, okay? But that decision will be easy for you to make, and you will make it quite quickly and quite fast to move towards this new space that will become a big part of your life, but also a big part of where you will be able to express your identity, the one you've always known yourself to be. It could have to do with physical abundance, material abundance. Yeah, like salary and work, but it doesn't mean that you, because I know I've used the example of you being hired by a tech company, but this could also be you having a project that you will express in a manner or in a space that you never thought you would express it in, but that will give you great results. Mainly because of those unexpected turn of events and unexpected expressions that will show up in how you will do this, in what spaces to do this. Because of the unexpectedness of it all, why you will still go along with it is because you will be able to see yourself in this identity and role that has been longing to be expressed. Because of how much that will be expressed, that is how you will know that that is for you. That space is for you. So you will be expressing yourself, but there's also physical and material aspects of your life that will also be expressed by this. But I'm still getting fast energies coming soon, where you will leave some aspects of your life that could be of course, like old jobs, old professions, step into a new identity, a new profession. That could also be speaking of a transition from like being in the working force and then being retired. And when you're retired, new things will be possible for you to express yourself in when it comes to your identity, and a new role for you to take that will also be material in its core. Yeah, okay. I just wanted to bring that out because that came through as a very important transition here also for some of you, depending on your age, of course. But again, we have like 3, 4, 6s, 8s, 7. There's like a moving forward, moving on in the right direction that could be picking up speed very soon for you. Okay, group 2, I will end your reading here. I hope it was helpful and that you liked it, and I also hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, group 3. Welcome to MH Tarot and to your reading. I'm so glad to have you here. Let me introduce you to the main card you chose. It says the red and white rose. So this is actually quite an interesting aspect of alchemy because this card belongs to an alchemy deck, and it speaks of a process within the alchemical process where the color red is presented to the color white. However, there is some mystery going on here because when they are presented to each other, the result won't be pink, but the result will actually be that each color becomes more of itself. So when red is being presented to white, white will become even more white and red will become even more red. So there's an amplification going on here where two things meet, but they don't take each other out. They only get to express themselves even more. Why? Because they've met. There's a relationship between the red and the white, and of course the symbology behind them. That relationship, that unity and unification only strengthens them more. So what is this relationship? What is this red and white? It could of course be the good karma that is guaranteed for you, could of course be another person. That when the two of you come together, you don't take each other out. You don't become pink. You become even more red and even more white. However, this could also be speaking of an awakening. You could have found it hard to find balance between your spirit and your physical reality and how to let them meet and become one and be expressed within each other without one taking out the other. With the snake, this could be speaking about an activation, could be speaking of a Kundalini awakening. But that is your body meeting your spirit and knowing in a perfect way how to handle it, how to keep expressing itself without being taken over by the other. And again, this could of course be speaking about relationship and how to exist in the same space as someone else without having it taking over you. You becoming someone else. You adopting that other person's characteristics or personality or process as your own. So there is actually, in the unification of whatever this is, there is still separation, but from the highest perspective of separation. It is when you can still be you and who you are and honor your process without getting lost in another process that is also happening simultaneously. And I just feel like there are two groups, two subgroups in this group. For some of you, this is speaking about another person coming into your life. For others of you, this is speaking about pure awakening, activation in your physical body to accept your spirit without your spirit taking over and making you float away. No. It is a unification where your body can still remain your body and your spirit can still remain your spirit. If you want to find out which subgroup you belong to, I would highly advise you to take out your own deck. Take out maybe 3 cards to specify what this is, to clarify what this is talking to you about, and be also open for the fact that you could be one of the persons where both things are part of your good karma. Okay, so you got 2 flippers, the lover, the unseen, and the third one is the self. So do you see here where you are, and then where this other thing is, where you're the white and the other aspect thing is the red, and then between you there is the unseen. There is the force that can make you come together and stay true to who you are, to the process that you're part of, but also at the same time being able to experience unification. But we're talking like this is high level. This is becoming one, no matter if it is another person becoming one with you, but without losing the other aspects of reality. This is very deep, but also very high level, guys. So if this is a person, this is like once in a lifetime type of relationship. Could be a mentor, it could be a best friend, it could also be a child that you give birth to, it could be a romantic partner. And it could also be the unification of the self, yourself, the different aspects of your existence. But doing that without losing your place here on earth, without losing the ground beneath your feet. Actually, it will benefit your physical reality, this unification. It will benefit the way that you've been cooperating with physical reality, with your outside world. I don't see this being like you, when this unification happens, no matter what form it is, that you will become like, you know, like a monk or something like that and just go hide in a cave. I see you actually taking up more space in physical reality because of this unification. Things happening for you more in your physical reality because this unseen is unifying 2 aspects of existence. Is it both? I actually think it's just healing. Okay, so you got healing with card number 5, and it says the healing of the mind, body, and soul. Healing is also a way to unify things so that they can exist together without taking each other out, without reshaping each other, but a way to create harmony within existence. There's also like angels coming through. or entities on the other side that could be very much supporting this process of unification, no matter what form it has. But there could also be actually a timing that you're halfway towards it, but it could also mean that you're about a year away from it. Okay. And we have Abracadabra with wings with card number 23, another 5. Yeah, I'm getting like you're halfway or a year away from this. But this says fantastic, good fortune, and lucky chances. So you are on your way. There are forces, the unseen here, happening right now to help you take the steps and for the necessary events to happen for this process to keep going in one certain direction. There is a goal with this. This isn't an never-ending process or a process that is happening just for you to keep growing and grow. There is like an ending of this process to reach a goal, and then other things will happen, of course. Like there's never an ending like that, but this type of process isn't supposed to just keep going. You are supposed to reach an end of this road, get an experience that could be likened to a result. And then there are, of course, other things to experience after that. But I don't see this going on longer than a year from whenever you're watching this. Okay, 2 cards for you. So let's see, you got 11, I am creator. So you could have master numbers as part of your life path or in your numerology for like your individual, that you could have master numbers in it. And also number 2, inner calling. I am creator, inner calling. So no matter what type of unification this is talking about, it is you following your life path, your inner calling. So when we do that, usually it's not an easy path, and usually we also experience the opposite of what we're supposed to experience on that path. So if this is speaking of, just as an example now, okay, and I hope that you can take out the lesson of the underlying energies from this example, that if you resonate with this unification being a unification of your inner being, your highest self with your physical self that exists here, what you could have faced along the way can be like very hard, immense mental health issues. It could have been you feeling and experiencing disassociation. Everything that gives you the experience of the opposite of feeling whole and unified, that is what you could have experienced. The same goes if you resonate with the unification being between you and another person. You could have experienced the opposite of that as part of your path. That you could have actually have experienced disconnection, relationships that just seem to never work out, relationships that seem to never respond to where you are at. So they could show up in ways that could be destructive or toxic, even if you don't resonate with that. Yeah, that you're like, but Yeah, I used to be there, but that was a long time ago. Like, why does this keep showing up? It surprises me because I know I'm not there anymore. That is just the nature of things. That is usually how the process looks like when we're talking about our life path. Usually we experience the opposite of the end result, where we're going, the goal that we are reaching towards. Oh, so you're on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. All I can say is that actually exactly what this card says. You're on the right path towards this unification, this wholeness, this completion of things. And there are forces outside of your control. It could be very divine, how you're being divinely protected, how your healing path has been divinely protected, how things are lining up as part of a process in a divinely protected way for divine timing to rule all of this. Underneath the deck, we have the Seven of Wands. So what could be going on for you right now is that you could actually have quite a hard time just being part of your life path. That what keeps showing up as part of your life path, especially if you actually have master numbers in your numerology, that you could just find it like making no sense. It's not fair. Why does these crappy things keep showing up? But you're being very, very encouraged to stay true to your life path. Because part of the natural process of having a life path, no matter what number it has or what structure it has, it is to meet the opposite of what you're supposed to reach or what you're supposed to experience as part of you reaching your goal. That could very much be where you are right now. And if that is, I get if you got annoyed when I gave you like a timing for a year. So you can take timing by running it through your intuition so that you guide yourself as your first and main guide. You could also take out cards. If you have experience of how to read timings with divination, then you can do that. Take out your cards and look into the timing of it all. If that would help, if that would give you some comfort and help you ground yourself right now. We got the King of Cups. Underneath, healing. Yeah. So the hardships that you could go through, the opposite of the wonderful things that are for you, there is your good karma. It is also showing up to be healed, to be closed. There's a need for closure here for some very important things that you've experienced. They need to be looked at and acknowledged. But they, more than anything, they need to meet your love, the purest aspect of your existence. But we also have another confirmation here with the Lover and the King of Cups, and because of how much they look like each other, that if it resonated with you that there is a romantic partner, but it could also be like a relationship, like a mentor or a best friend, then you see that that is part of your future, how they're both pointing towards the future. Page of Pentacles, like a learning experience. That is what you could be going through right now. The healing part of your journey is a learning experience. Not having what it is that you will have as your good karma, that you reaching that goal. That is also a learning experience for you. Queen of Swords. Ooh, look how she's just looking at you, telling you that you can do this, that there's a future aspect of all of this that will just make everything feel completed, feel fulfilled. But you have to walk the walk. You have to complete your journey. She's almost looking at you like, don't you dare give up. Be smart about this. You know how things work. You know the nature of processes. Stay true to who you are. Stay true to your process. Don't buy into BS or illusions. You know what is for you. But also with the Queen of Swords, it talks about a future aspect of this. The Hanged Man. You know, another thing that you can look into to clarify some things is look into what major arcana card you have that is your card of the year for either this year or 2025. You can just like Google it and you will know how to calculate it. You use your birth day, birth month, birth year, and the year in question that you are interested in, and then you add all of those numbers until you get one of the major arcana's numbers. If you get a number that is above 22, you just add it again until you get one number. That could actually be very significant for you to let you know where you are on your path when it comes to timings of it all, because I feel like timing could be very, very crucial for you. If you're going through something very hard right now, I totally get it. You know, sometimes I get comments like that point to that only weak people care about timings, or if your faith is not strong enough, that's when you care about timing. Like if you're developing on a high level of consciousness, the only thing you're interested in is the present moment. And you know what? Maybe that's right. Maybe there is some truth to it. But existence isn't that easy or that single-minded or only one level. Existence doesn't exist on only one level. And what is important, it is to honor your starting point. Where are you at right now? If you are at a level where you're like, all I care about is the present moment, then go with that. If you're not, if something is triggering you and you need to have faith and feel that there is hope about the future, then that is your starting point. And that is also your authentic point. You can't fake your way through your process by telling yourself that you should be more evolved or more high frequent or whatever, if that is not your starting point. Maybe that is where you will be at. Maybe that is part of your process that you're going towards. Maybe that is your evolution. But if that is not where you are at right now, you can only be who you are and where you are at right now. So look into timing if it is important for you. Look into your card of the year of the major arcanas and see what clarification you can get through that card. And we got the Page of Wands. Yeah, exciting new events, like an adventure, firing you up, being passionate. it's a do-over, starting over type of energies with the Page of Wands, where you can go from like a desert to things growing in the desert, from empty to abundant. That is the magic and the power of the Page of Wands that is coming through for you, to tell you that how things could be going on right now and look for you right now. It's not an indication for what is for you. It's not an indication for what is part of your life path, or where you're going, where you're headed towards, and what is waiting for you there. You need to keep believing that your future will be different from what is going on right now. There is adventure, excitement, and passion because of this unification. Because you will get to experience who you truly, truly are, and see that in your outside world. Okay, group 3, this was your message, and I will end it here. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.